Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda.
Good evening, viewers. How are we? Surprise, surprise. Dave is with us, as is Guru and Caz, but welcome to Stop the Rot this evening. And I'm going to start and commence the show tonight with my commencement is, so we're going into our new political arena right now. And I want to pose the question to the general community and the community above and the community that are on board with us right now. Who do we vote for? And the big questions, right? So we're all going to have there's a myriad of opinions going on right now as to who we vote for. So I'm going to leave that purely to individual decision making, right? But there are a few things to obviously consider. But more importantly, what we need, and with Mondays at Maggie's, we're always asking for people to come to the gate and all the rest of it. But we certainly need volunteers. We need people to come out and become proactive. Like you saw in the last couple of, even in the state election and in the federal election, we all got our cameras out. We all exposed the, the fraudulent system being exposed. Now, we're obviously going to need you to, sort of get those cameras back out again. So we need participants in doing so. As to who you follow, well, I'm not going to get involved in any of that because we all have our own opinions on, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, look, I'm pretty much on Dave's side of things. I don't trust any of them. I really don't. But at the same token, we still have to shelter some of that responsibility right now and also be proactive, whether it be scrutineering, whether it be helping out somebody, helping a friend out. Let's face it, look, some of our local members aren't all in the club. And there are some people that are trying to do the right thing. Hey, Dave, how are you, brother?
How are you? I'm not staying in tonight, guys. I'm just having a bit of time off. I don't get Frank in, but, let's just be straight about this voting thing, all right? And then I'll leave you with it. But, guys, I love Rennick and that and what they're doing, okay? Yeah. I do, all right? I've got to tell you, all right? I love what the guy is trying to do. But if you're going to pair up with One Nation who couldn't stand up for our free speech, sorry, you got an issue, Gerard, and I wish you didn't. Okay, but you do have, because I've spoken to a lot of people, and One Nation have done us in. As Australians, they never backed us up, Frank. All right, she had the chance to really stand up there, have the people power behind her, and she duped it and ran away and wouldn't vote. You know what I mean? So I just think that, we've got to very seriously think about whether we're going to vote or not. But guys, what like Frank's just going into now, and I maybe just stay for this when Caz comes in, I'll drop out. But guys, what we got to do is Frank's just saying, Caz is here, let's have a chat. We got a scrutiny, guys. All right, you know what we found 2 or 3 years ago when Frank and I happened to run with Bosie and the rest of the crew, right, with 17 of us. It was outrageous. Now, when Sue Ellen Wrightson from the Patriots of Trumpets, Trumpets of Patriots, saw those films the other night, she was, I'm going to use a word here, don't hear much, flabbergasted. She was actually flabbergasted. You can see it, and we spoke to her later. Okay, but she was blown out that we had all this stuff about what they'd done. You know, so again, guys, have we got someone, and I'm not telling you what to do, have we got someone now, when we get them back on the show, as in Clive, that can actually... Now, we were told by a particular person that we were going into that election to prove that it was fraudulent and then take that, what Gideon had done, etc., and go and put that in and take it to the courts. But guess what? That never happened. I'll say no more. But it never happened.
Exactly.
Okay. So we done the right thing back then, Caz. So, what do you think? I think everyone's got to be a scrutiny. Whether you're voting or not, we need you at the polls.
The thing that I've realised for today, okay, there's a couple of clips. I want you to listen to this and look at these statistics first.
In Minchinbury with the iconic plane. Nobody knows why that plane's there. I remember when they were building Minchinbury, when it just started to come out of the ground, and I love that thing, and I still do. So, I've been door knocking, and all the people that I'm talking to, all of them, I haven't knocked on a house yet, that's been happy with the current government, that's been happy with the opposition. Everybody's upset. Some people don't even vote. They haven't been voting. But they're going to vote this time. I know they're going to vote this time. So you know what? We are winning. I can feel it. I can see it. It's unbelievable. Come and be a part of it. Let's go, McMahon.
That's right. You don't, and look, the thing is, everybody wants somebody in the ring. They want somebody to fight. But if we don't back our fighters, we need people there to be able to towel dry them when they come in on the sidelines and they're all sweaty or sew up their eyes and that sort of stuff. They need support people at the moment. Now, the other thing that's really interesting as well is these statistics here. Check this out. Like the headline is glaring sign, Albo and Dutta are in real trouble. Now it goes on to talk about like it gives this statistics like this is where the major preference is. Like, so it's actually diving. So what they're actually telling, now remember that they rig their like they oversample certain spectres or certain elements of society so that they can get the polls that they want. But what I'm looking at is what I'm looking at the moment is they're going to have to cheat so big, they're not going to be able to stop themselves. So, guys, we need people with eyes on. We need videos on. We need scrutineers, and and if you want to go out and door knock for somebody and you know them, absolutely 100% do. Even if you choose not to vote because it's against your ethics, I agree with that. Okay, but the thing is that we still need people. We need, like, we can do this. We can win this. We can actually start to take Australia back, and it's really, really obvious at the moment.
I agree, Caz. And on top of that, let's not forget, in the last federal election, Albo fared worse than the guy in 1914, right? In terms of now it was all the preferentials that got him over the line. That's it. I mean, so. And I don't think Dutton will be too far in that category anyway, right? So, but we need to keep an eye on them. We need to put pressure on them.
I can tell you they're going to put Dutton in, man. There's my call. I'm sticking to it. All right, I would put $100,000 on it. Okay, the Dutton will be the next one. I haven't got $100,000, so I'm not putting that. But I'm just saying, I would back $100,000 that Dutton will be our next Prime Minister. Frank, they have to change the stooge Biden, mate. They have to.
Well, because obviously I'm here on the Central Coast, so you look at your visuals, right? Now we've got Gordon Reid, who's the current member, right? Who's Labor, right? Now we've got Lucy Wicks, who we've pulled out of the old stable, right? So we've taken a lame duck and a lame horse out of the stables and pumped up with steroids to run again, right? So the same old nonsense, right? But I can tell you now, there's more blue floating around the township, so you can see where they're leaning towards it. Where Gordon seems to have faded into the sunset, but Lucy Wicks is just about everywhere. Her head's planted everywhere. So they've pumped her up with steroids, right? And they've got their new stallion ready to run. But I can tell you now, she's just nothing more than a lame horse that was already sitting in the paddock previously.
Well, this is really interesting because we've got this cool young liberal called Amelia Hamer, and she has put a sign next to it that says, "Monique, please do not take this sign." That's because people have been, her husband was basically caught taking the signs. So
that was one of the tills, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It was involved?
Yeah. Yeah, no, her husband. So caught on
tell you what.
videotape.
Yeah, we've had Teals and Labor so far out stealing shit. Now that's all that's been caught at the moment and been put on videotape. But yeah, are these guys for real, Frank? Just think about that. You're a grown man, okay? Yeah. You got people running in political spheres. Maybe that be your wife or whatever, and you're out at night sneaking around pinching other people's friggin' propaganda. Like, are you kidding? What a life have you got? This is this is the type of politicians we got to fucking look forward to. Anyway,
it's unbelievable.
And not only that, we've got this situation.
Please leave me alone. If you're suing me for defamation, Simon, I don't want to talk to you. Simon, you are suing me for defamation. Please leave me alone. The matters may have legal implications. Please leave me alone, Simon. You are the son of Australia's first billionaire. You are suing me for defamation. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Hey, Josh, how you doing?
I agree with everything she says.
You agree with her lies? Would you like to repeat her lies? Why don't you get on your mate?
Stop annoying everyone alone. We don't want to be talking to you. You are a litigious and vexatious.
In a 1.5 metre distance, mate.
Simon, leave me alone. You are litigious and vexatious. This may have legal implications. Bullying the authorised by.
Unbelievable.
But that's the thing, though, Caz. They don't answer anyone's bloody questions, right? They are done. And that's why we need to put that public pressure on them. They can't handle it. They can't handle it. So you got to get out there. Actually, can I just make a quick one? Last weekend, it got rained out up here, but Lucy Wicks was supposed to have a barbecue, which got canned, right? But we were going to already set up our Forest of the Fallen there as well, right? So I was ready to go and take on the old Wicks with the sticks on last Saturday, but it got rained out. So we've got to get out there. Got to get out there and put pressure on them.
Yeah, no, that's right. Now, you can see that Albo's already stumbling because he didn't really address this situation very well at all.
Minister, why did you let 200,000 migrants into the country last month when we've got a cost of living crisis? Are the universities under control? Why did you let 200,000 migrants into the country last month when we've got a cost of living crisis?
So you've got that, and you've also got this one from today.
No. Because it's my press conference.
Because it's my press conference?
Holy hell.
Who the hell does
what
he think he
about
is?
being a public servant?
I know. But anyway, look, and you can see that people are really angry because you've got the younger generation and they're putting out their own content.
The nation has officially hit 27 million people this year. This is a 2.3% increase from last year. 83% of this is made up by overseas immigration. This, of course, happening while unemployment rates continue to rise, birth rates continue to plummet into the ground, and Australian citizens are struggling in a rental crisis and housing crisis. Now, you would think that's bad enough, right? But it actually gets worse because the ABS is predicting that Australia will get to 45.9 million by 2071. This is, of course, stated without explaining how this is going to happen. It makes no mention of trying to raise birth rates or trying to raise the native population's family size. So essentially, you can assume that this is going to be completely driven by overseas immigration from countries that have billions of people, which essentially means that if Australian citizens don't stand up to this very soon, they're going to get completely outnumbered, and the Australia that we know today will disappear into a sea of smart cities filled by a mix of immigrants who don't even know why they're in this country anymore.
Mm. Well, he's got that right. Now, while he's got that, there's like somebody's put together this compilation of the tents. Look at this.
Up their glasses, no expression, no expression. Hide my head, I wanna drown my sorrow.
That's the harsh reality that we're facing right now, Caz, because I go in the city every week. And it's not even going to the city and town. I mean, you can go in your local area, mate. There's so many of them. It's unbelievable.
No, I know. And one of the things that they're doing with the thing. Can you just turn your mic down a bit because it's actually really loud, Dave? Well, it's loud for me.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, no, that's a bit too low now.
About there?
Yeah, no,
that's about it.
Yeah, that's all right. That's good.
So yeah, that is it's getting ridiculous, guys. And you know what I'd like to say while I'm just hanging here on the lounge at home is having to think about this is, you know, it's time for us to just make a move, guys. And we've got these things coming up now. I was going to come in before, but I let Frank go in because he had his finger up, and I know it's like when you lose your train of thought. But guys, we need to make this election day, right, as meaningful as our Anzac Day. Now, don't take me out of context there, okay? What I'm saying is we need to make this a meaningful day, all right? We need to get out there like this is our day. They are stealing another election. We need to be out there now. You're going to hang on, Kath. You're going to find a little issue, guys. I think you've got to have your name crossed off the scrutineer. Now we're going to have to check up on this shit. But does that mean going in and just getting your name off and going in and writing no candidate? You know what I mean? Which is an honest thing to do anyway. I don't know. Okay, suitable. But I think that we need to make this day our big day, guys. That's what I'm saying. We really need to grab hold. We've had enough stolen of us. We've had all the information before. We've caught them. We've got now more journalists now, 2.5, 3 years later than we ever had. All right. We've got more balls. We're not scared anymore. Why? Because they're stealing our country. And this is a big chance, guys, to make a stand.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is that you have to put your detective hats on and catch them out, be the copper. Yeah,
Kaz, can I just stretch that notion on Dave with the whole Anzac thing? We've never, look, Australia's fought many wars, but never its own. And we are actually in our own fight right now. This is it. Our country needs to be taken back, and we need to be proactive. And so I just want to reiterate to what Dave was saying. And it is so important right now. We're in for a fight of our lives right now to get our bloody country back.
Well, it's true. Actually, one of the libertarian tactics, which I think is brilliant marketing, is that they're actually selling a carton without the government tax on it for the first half of Saturday or second half of Saturday. Well, now that is a brilliant marketing tactic because I don't think people have realised, like Ben Fordham has jumped on the bandwagon, actually has become a cooker recently and has been going on about how the amount of tax we're under. But it's just incredible because, like, what you've got at the end of the day, and this is so well put by Jag Talks, is that has anyone noticed that both the ALP and the LNP are offering to fix the problems that they've created? It's beautiful. They created the problems. They have.
Problem, solve, solution, Kaz.
Yeah. You know, one other thing, guys, I've been watching because it's getting near my son's back playing soccer, okay? And I know this is all the distraction and part of the cabal, but I started watching a few A-League games. And I've watched about the last 3 or 4 weekends, just a selected game here or there, all right, because I'm a football nut and always have been. It's a love and a passion. And I tell you what, Mel Flick, she said, you want to watch a game? And I went, yeah, put one on. Guess what, guys? We saw these pride flags and that. And then we're going, what the hell's going on here? They ran a pride month. Our A-League ran a pride round. A pride round. Okay. Now I want to talk to every parent in Australia whose kid plays soccer. Stand the friggin' hell up. All right, we're getting rid of this. We're fighting to get rid of it, and you're allowing them to walk straight back into the A-League, all right, with kids wearing bloody rainbow bullshit, all right? Every one of you parents who have someone playing soccer should be writing an email to Soccer Australia going, we ain't putting up with this bullshit. We're not going to your games and we're not watching your games, because I turned it off, guys, and I haven't watched another game. There you go.
Well said, Dave. Well said.
So one of the other things too is that you mentioned before about the poor areas, and somebody's done this report. I'm not sure who it is, otherwise I'd credit them. But anyway,
look at this. So we're in like one of the lowest social economic areas in Sydney. They made this during COVID, you know, during the lockdowns. They did all this and it looks very dystopian. Cameras, but that's gonna have facial recognition one day. And then here, you're gonna have to, you know, tap on like this. This is how it works. It's all conditioning, you know. First we had the tickets that you put on the bus, you put on the train, and they went to the Opal cards. Then from the Opal cards that you tap, it went from your phone. So now you tap with your phone. Next step is you're gonna tap with the microchip. Everyone's already been conditioned with all the steps. People will just accept it, you know. And they'll be like, oh yeah, that's just the world evolving, building metros everywhere in the city of Sydney. So when they lock us down again and they say, oh, you can't travel 15 minutes outside, your card or your microchip at the time isn't going to let you pass through certain areas. If you have like a low social credit score, it won't let you go to like the rich areas or the nice poshy areas. Plus mixed with the electric cars, it's like even the scooters that you hire, the bikes that you hire on the street, it doesn't let you ride in certain areas and it just stops the bikes and the scooters from going. Wait till they do that with electric cars. All they need to do is force electric cars and then put an update in the car, and it has all that GPS tracking stuff already, and you won't even be able to tinker with the car because it's so advanced. You can't even go to proper mechanics now. You can't even change anything in electric cars because it's so advanced. Say it's convenient, no, brother, that's control.
one of the good things about it is it's young people actually putting out this content, you know, and we've got some more young content at the moment. But actually, as I said, Ben Fordham's become a cooker, and he's actually explosive audio. This is ridiculous. Westpac customer has been denied access to his own money. Yes, Ben.
Yeah.
We know. We've been reporting on it. We've had it happen to our people. It's just like,
And to think that Ben could have been ahead of the game if he took a few of our phone calls, Kaz.
Yeah, no. He could have
been
been
right out of the game if you didn't try and lock me up. I had a heap of information.
Absolutely, Dave.
That's it. Look, you've got, and the other thing is though that what's happening is they're going so hard for this Nazi narrative, and I've got one of the guys that that was just on. He was called a Nazi as well. But one of the things that's interesting is that Babylon B has put this out, actual Nazis struggling to stand out now that everyone is a Nazi.
But that's the narrative. If you don't follow the status quo or you go against the grain, Kaz, you're categorically put into the Nazi playbook, so to speak.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's exactly right. I find it ironic as well that Pete Evans, who's basically been deplatformed and all sorts of stuff happened to him. Anyway, he met with Trump, but what's happened is he's got a new job, and it's a controversial chef, Australian chef, announces Bitcoin Vegas event after meeting Trump and Musk. He's going to be, he's hosting that over there. So it's sort of an investment.
Actually, he's going to be the Australian ambassador for with Robert F. Kennedy. That's what the meeting that he had with Robert not too long ago. He actually rang him and said, "Can I be the representative here in Oz?" So,
did he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently so. Yep.
Oh, okay. Now, we've got this situation as well with Claire Neal. Listen to this: big government's the answer.
But to do all of that, we're going to need to unshackle ourselves from a powerful and pervasive idea. And that is that the best thing that government can do to help the economy grow is to get out of the way. That thinking is just not right for the times.
The problem. Look, it's true that during the Great Depression, they did start major works, but they actually produced something. What we've got is we've got the fat of the cow, and they're not producing anything, and that's the issue. So, I think
I was just saying, we went from 28 to 98% of Australian industry completely removed. So, we took a self-reliant nation and made it, we're now relying on everybody else.
That's it. Scotty puts out some really good content, and what he's said here I found really fascinating, especially when you think about some
If you were
people.
a bank and you were trying to prop up the Ponzi scheme, the best way to prop up the Ponzi would be to promote influencers supporting high migration, wouldn't it?
Interesting. Any comments on that one?
Yeah, no, completely bang on. There's just so many schemes that they've been doing, actually, Caz. I mean, and to drive it, and it's just a driving force to put extra pressure.
No, that's exactly right. So look, this guy here, he's a newbie as well, but he's done a really good rundown on the international students. So a lot of people may not realise that they're not actually, when they come in as international students, that's a pathway. So it's not just the million plus the 1.8 million or whatever it is that we've gotten. It's also the students which aren't included.
1,000 international students entered Australia in February of this year alone, and there are now 1 million international students in the country. But I can already see the comments that will be coming in to try and excuse these numbers. They'll say they pay us so much in tuition that it's worth it. That right there, that's actually the problem. The reason international students will pay 2 or 3 times what Australians pay to go to our universities isn't because our universities are so good. It's because attending an Australian university as an international student actually leads you to permanently staying in the country. You study for 3 years, work for 2, apply for the 485, you could be a permanent resident of Australia in just 5 years. And it isn't just me saying this, it's university whistleblowers, it's their unions, and it's experts. This is plain to see. It's why people who don't grasp basic English are passing and getting our degrees. The situation is so out of hand that people like Alan Kohler have described the situation as universities being back in full control of Australia's migration program. And so if you don't understand the point that's being made here yet, it's that the reason there are 1 million international students in Australia, which is more than there are in Great Britain, the reason there's 200,000 coming a month isn't because it's of any benefit to you and it's for you and to enrich this country. It's because the universities in their greed are pushing for it. And so in reality, instead of benefiting from this, Australians are paying for it. Rents are skyrocketing, the classes in the universities themselves suck, everyone will tell you that. And now 1 in 27 people in Australia is an international student. All of this so universities can make more money and even more millions of people can come and flood this country.
And on top of that, though, Caz, they're all locked in. So you got the Newcastle University, right, which is now pretty much locked in with most of our hospitals and everything else, right? So you can see where the rort is. It's not so much just that there used to be an independent educative facility for people to learn from. It's not. They're now locked in within the system. So they're actually feeding the system. So they're doctors, they're nurses, and all the rest of it, so...
That's it.
Yeah, and the thing is, Trump's just given them the questionnaire, Frank, and they can't pass it, mate. Okay, so again, and I think this is a great thing. I mean, look, all this is going to create, and you can say, you're talking right down their track here. No, they've got their ideas on shutting it down. But, guys, universities and schools are total indoctrination. The quicker we can turn them around, all right, to getting back to what? Real research, real friggin', like as he just said, the subjects are all bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, again, our universities have to come down, guys. That is one of the indoctrination points, and it's one of their money laundering points. So it has to go.
And the other thing to that, Dave, is these kids end up in debt before they even get a go in life. So they've got a hex hanging over their head.
I don't know that the international ones do. They have to pay up front a lot of the time, but they do that, or they pay as they go. So, but yeah, the debt's terrible.
Yeah.
Like the hex debt is just shocking. So, look, we're at 1:30, so I'm going to bring in the flyers. We've got heaps on. Go out, people. Everyone's hosting stuff and doing stuff. It's just really awesome. And the Mondays at Maggie's crew is calling for tools down. It's time to stand together. A corrupt and tyrannical government is crushing industries, stripping freedoms and silencing voices. This affects every worker and every business. New South Wales under a corrupt government. Enough is enough. We won't stay silent and we demand action. So join us every Monday at the Governor's House in Sydney at 11 a.m. And a reminder to contact the offices of Chris Minns, Ryan Park and Paul Scully. They are invited to come on the show Stop the Rot, Sack the Lot and have a debate with Dave. And Rocco is hosting an Election Day barbecue, 12 noon, Saturday the 3rd of May 2025 at Ewan Park Barbecue area. And Illawarra Offshore Wind and Energy event will be holding an update to hear from your federal candidates. Whitlam and Cunningham, Monday the 7th of April, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m, Warilla Bowls Club. Gilmore, Wednesday 9th of April, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Kiama Leagues Club. There will be an Australia-wide rally on Saturday, April 26th. No more uni party. Repeal the hate speech bill, freedom of speech, leave the WHO, and pro-freedom minor parties. Everyone is welcome and the locations are to be announced. And in Victoria, we have the following events. In Melbourne, gather at the Governor's every Saturday to end the tyranny. 10 a.m. every Saturday at the Governor Gates. And join the Justice of the People in Melbourne every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. for a remembrance at the Shrine of Remembrance, lest we forget. And Billboard Chris will be in court this week. The hearing room is 5.06 at 15 Williams Street, Melbourne. And My Place Australia are holding an Empowering Your Children event. Rachel Vaughan will be speaking on how to spot a predator. Craig Cole and Penelope Johnson will be discussing what matters most. This will be on Thursday, the 3rd of April at 7:30 p.m. In Canberra, every day for over 1,000 days, the freedom fighters have been protesting at the Governor-General's. To join in, meet at the National Rock Garden at 10 a.m. to expose the 28, or tune in on YouTube at hashtag expose the 28. And there is a court call-out on Wednesday the 9th of April 2025 at the Capitol, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the High Court of Australia, Parks Place, Parks, ACT. Two very important cases. Rod Cullerton about being able to travel between states, and Dr. Pearce is challenging the validity of the Public Health and Wellbeing Act in Victoria. And check out Dan Tilda's new t-shirt designs featuring the QR code, the event number of the witness statement documentary. And backed by popular demand, there will be a second screening of Witness Statement on Saturday, the 12th of April of 2025 at Nanango Cultural Centre on the corner of Drayton Streets and George Streets, Nanango, Queensland. Arrive at 11:30am for a 12pm lunchtime film start. And Glenn Fisher, along with the Leg Up Project, are going to Queensland to help the homeless. There is a fundraiser. They will be arriving on the 10th of April. So if you can help in any way with any items that they may use, let him know. And in Perth, there is an action day on Saturday the 5th of April, 11:30am to 1:30pm at Forest Place, Hay Street, Perth. Join them as they do the Walk of Shame for the jab and lockdown criminals. Robin from Courage is a Cure will be the special guest. A daily prayer space is held on X at 3pm. So whatever you're facing, come along and we can lift you up in prayer. Every day, 3pm on X. Melissa 146233923.
Right, just my apologies, guys. I couldn't make it to the
My Place
event on the weekend, but Robin done a great job. We had I don't know, about 8 people or something turned up. So, we're going to keep promoting that, guys, and I will try and get to the next one to speak. But that's one. Number 2 is Craig Vine. Wednesday, about 10:30 in the morning, saw Mr. Ryan Park at the BP car wash in Ferry Meadow. I don't know if it's a regular Wednesday thing or a gig, but maybe you could buy him a coffee and have a chat to him. And Ryan didn't really want to know about it. Craig saw him checking out his car and the stickers, but when approached, Ryan didn't really want to know about it, guys, and says he doesn't know who Stop the Rot is. So we've got an invitation. He knows exactly who we are. Don't you worry. But I think we ought to just reignite that invitation to him out there, guys. And yeah, so I'll leave that with you. Thank you very much.
All right. Now, also just on that as well, this is in the Deniliquin paper, mainstream. So forests has fallen and made their way back to Deniliquin on Friday. So well done, guys. Excellent work.
It's brilliant.
Yes. It is brilliant. It is brilliant. It's really what's really interesting is people standing up everywhere, even though they're passing these horrendous laws. Now, the horrendous laws are so bad. Oh, actually, where did I put that? I must have forgotten that. Oh, my goodness. You know, like Victoria's passed the speech laws, and basically what it means is if you're offended, if somebody is offended, if somebody takes offense to anything you say, it's just like, you've got to be kidding me. This is Australia. We offend everybody. We offend ourselves the most, you know. It's part of our culture.
Bring back offending is what I say.
Yeah. I say make offending great again. You know,
exactly.
Yeah. But the thing is, you've got this word as well. Now, this is Crystal Mitchell. She's the police woman who stood down because of the COVID vax. Now, here she is. She says Australia's E-Safety Commissioner, Julian McGrant, better known, and her job description title is Australian Censorship Commissar, has spent a lazy 10K of your taxpayer dollars fighting a foreigner in a court for posting agenda-critical views on X. So now she's also getting paid $448,000. Now, also we saw that Sundar Baraj, what was his name again? I can't remember, but he's on $400,000 a year, and he's criticising us about how racist we are. I'd like to be on that position, you know.
He hasn't seen racist, mate. I'll tell you now.
No, that's it. Well,
he hasn't seen racism, I can tell you.
Well, I'm sure it exists, but the thing is that, you know,
he's missed a couple of decades in my pastime, Mark, I'll tell you.
Yes. But it doesn't just end there, because you've got this situation as well where the Human Rights Commission has basically found that human rights were commonly breached during the COVID pandemic. Well, they were, but I rang them at the time. I rang them. like they were notified. I rang them. So it was them that breached it. They didn't enact on it. They didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, well, it's all sort of hitting them in the face now, though, Caz, that's for sure.
That's it. So anyway, I just lost my screen there, but don't worry about that, because this is the way we roll here. So now there's a couple of things that is going on around in the UK particularly, and one of them is this transphobic toddler.
A toddler was suspended from a nursery after they were accused of being transphobic or homophobic. I just cannot believe this. The Department of Education data revealed the child is either 3 or 4 years old. A Department of Education spokesman said all pupils and staff.
Now, also what's happened is recently over there has been, I thought I brought it in, but I must have missed that one as well. But there's also been parents that were having a whinge about a teacher on a private chat from a school, like so I'd say it's a social media, and because they basically posted that, they've been arrested. So you've got all these people being arrested, but if you look at what our government's doing, they're actually setting up those laws so that they can come after us.
Oh, well, the whole thing has been synchronised. I mean, they don't want us putting pressure on them, so they're doing everything in their power. Exactly right.
And then in the meantime, they're just basically becoming more tyrannical, and they are even like with just even stuff with the food. You've got this situation where you've got the catastrophic livestock losses will see far-reaching impact for Australians. So you have that, but you also have the situation of the Bovier. So it's just everything that is happening at the moment is just crazy. So this is by Citizen Go. Australian supermarkets are selling beef and milk from cattle fed by the synthetic chemical called Bovier, and it's unlabeled and it's experimental.
But that's the thing, Kaz. Even going back to that, with that child in the UK, where are the parents? Where are the bloody parents? I mean, why isn't anyone outraged about that? I don't get it.
Oh, no, I know. I know, it is crazy. The good thing about, we are having a lot of wins though, and there's one of the things that it makes it a really good win is when Melania Trump, who has a big following, comes out and oh, don't tell me. Oh, there it is. Child trafficking.
In fact, Georgiana usually shows up unannounced and discovers the unimaginable. Helpless adults and children bound, sedated, starving, and in extreme cases dying. Thanks to Georgiana's brave work, dozens of offenders have been charged with human trafficking, exploitation, and even organized crime.
So
it's an introduction. They're revving it up.
Yep, exactly. No, that's exactly what I thought as well. And you've also got like now Tim Pool, because Tim Pool started on Occupy Wall Street. He's got a massive following. I think he might be the second biggest following. Now he's actually just basically said the FBI has been caught rigging the 2020 election, and its leaked chat logs prove cover up. So he's covered that. So it's really interesting because they're avoiding the mainstream media completely with this, and they're going out through these high-profile influencers.
Oh, 100%. Oh, they're coming. They're coming hard.
Yeah, they are. And just quickly, we've got this as well. So this is Iranians marching to basically, they want the restoration of Reza, I can't remember his name, but so there's a lot of interesting things that are happening within the Muslim world. You know, well, actually, they're Persians, so they were actually traditionally Christians, and then they got taken over by Islam. But a lot of Iran is actually, I think Iran is becoming Christian. Like I'm seeing so many posts about it as well. And you've also got this one that's happening in Ireland.
Oh, they're everything not good.
What makes so many migrants want to come here to Ireland?
How I come to Ireland?
Yeah.
From UN.
And how come you wanted to come to Ireland?
I ask, okay, when call me somebody from UN, he tell me, can you go to Sweden, to Germany, to 5 countries maybe. But I know my friends here in Ireland, very good everything in Ireland. I'm Muslim, here no problem.
So you have these floodings of these traditionally Christian countries with Muslim immigrants. A lot of them don't behave so well. They're getting paid by the UN, but also so you've also got this really interesting situation where MBS has said no. The people of Saudi Arabia do not have to wear women don't have to wear the hijab. You've also got Kazakhstan, and they've actually said, look, it's not our traditional dress. I don't think you should be wearing it. Go back to your traditional dress. So you've got these really interesting situations, like diversities with Islam.
It's like they're trying to hang on to those some of those old traditions.
Hang on, Frank. These were traditions. If you go back to Iran in the 70s and that, mate, there was no one wearing a hijab. All right, this has all been by design. These countries were not like that. Okay, they weren't like that. This is Operation Gladio in full swing.
The CIA did a coup with the Ayatollah, and then the Ayatollah basically double-crossed them, and that's where that came. So that was a CIA operation that was backed by them. So
totally, yeah.
Now the last little thing that I kept on because I thought it was really cool was this little tidbit. So Australia's Turnbull. This is by General Michael Flynn. He said Australia's Turnbull is a complete and total real Donald Trump did not deal with this scumbag. He's telling the majority of Americans that we have no idea what we're doing. Look at the smug look on his face. He's just, oh my goodness, sitting there, on the national. Yeah.
Caz, a few years ago, like a long time ago, when Tony Jones was operating Q&A, I was in the actual audience that night, and he was on there. And he was as smug as fuck is what I'm going to say, mate. Honestly, it was oozing off him. And people were buying into it. It was quite remarkable. And this was before he became Prime Minister. But, mate, he came on with his Fonzie jacket on. And, oh, man, you could see the bullshit back then.
I think it's Peter Credlin tells the story. She was chief of staff for Tony Abbott, and he just basically barged into Abbott's office daily and said, "When are you going to give me?" He was so entitled. "When are you going to resign so I can, so I can do this?" And I don't actually know how far back has the cheating gone. Because would anybody actually vote for him? Like, seriously?
No,
it's interesting. All right. Do you have any final words for the wrap up there, Franco? Because we're being taken out by the Blade Runners, and it's called Enough is Enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to make a special thank you, and but more of a Belinda, who's now put in a full ad with the witness statement in the Mangrove Monthly that comes out once a month. So anyone living in the area, get behind that, support the monthly, and start sharing it around. Apparently, there's like 3,000 copies that go out once a month, and so get behind that. That's come out of Belinda doing it, and everyone knows who Belinda is. I just want to encourage everybody. Look, there's so much going on. There's so many groups doing stuff. Get behind them. Support your local groups that are doing stuff, because it takes a lot of effort to get out there and put yourself out there and create all these sort of flyers and all the rest of it. But it makes it far more rewarding if you guys get out in your local community. If you're living close to these activities that are going on, get out there. Mondays at Maggie's, Victoria, Queensland, wherever it is, get out there and start supporting these groups. Now, if we get thousands out there, let's take them down. But you've got to start supporting the groups that are actually going out on a whim to try and do something. So I encourage everyone to get out there. There you go, Caz.
Yeah, that's awesome. And guys, everyone will be working. We've got Teresa Van Leysholter on tomorrow night, and she's going to be discussing a really interesting topic, which we actually need to discuss. And why can't we actually vote for the Governor General? So very interesting indeed, considering I think it was you that did the research on the current one in New South Wales, who is who is on the board for the Red Cross, and the Red Cross are the ones that I've found that are paying the rent on immigrants.
Yeah,
all
they
the
are
rent.
indeed. Yeah.
All right. I got nothing to say.
Margaret Beasley's a bullshit.
Or else I'm going to go on a big rant, and I haven't got time to go on a big rant. Right? But guys, what Frank just said, okay, we got a lot of people on the ground doing stuff, guys. They need your help. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's treat this like we are at war, guys. All right. And we're going in to win our Anzac Day back. All right. Let's get that thought and that process in us. All right. I just thinking of my granddad, man, a rat at Tobruk. And I'm telling you what, he will be up there now, and he knows the truth. And he, as I said before, when I come to tears on over it, guys, he would be so proud of me. I know he would. And our veterans will be so proud of every one of us that they can look down and see and standing up for the rights of this country that they fought in a war that they should never have fucking fought in for. So take it seriously, guys. You want your country back? We're getting India's, right? Because it's time to activate. Good night. I love yous all. Thank you.
Cheers.
We were promised change, we were sold a dream, but now we're waking up to a nightmare scene. Higher taxes, empty plates while they send our cash to foreign states. They shut us down when we dare to speak, lock us up, call it keeping the peace. But they let the lawbreakers walking free straight to hotels while we freeze on the streets. Our soldiers stand with empty hands while strangers arrive upon our sands. We paid the price, we built this place. Now we're the ones who living in disgrace. Enough is enough, we won't take no more. So stop these aliens invading our shores. You sold us out, you broke our trust. It's time for change, it's time for us. Enough is enough, we won't be played. Our country's burning, we've been betrayed. They break the law, They stroll right in while our own are starving in the wind. Hotel rooms, 3 meals a day, while veterans beg, but that's okay. We keep on paying, but where's it go? Not to the people struggling at home. You take and take, but never give. We work like dogs, but barely live. The people cry, but you don't hear. You sell us out year after year. We built this land, we shed our sweat. Electing you was our biggest regret. Enough is enough, we won't take no more. So stop these aliens invading our shores. You sold us out, you broke our trust. It's time for change, it's time for us. Enough is enough, we won't be played. Our country's burning, we've been betrayed. Homeless in doorways, left in the cold, while they get a palace, food and gold. You lock us up if we dare to say that Britain should come first today. Enough is enough, we won't take no more. So stop these aliens invading our shores. You sold us out, you broke our trust. It's time for change, it's time for us. Enough is enough, we won't be played. Our country's burning, we've been betrayed. No more lies, no more games. We're taking back our name. No more lies, no more games. We're taking back our name.